please, I'm pleading. This video that you're about to watch, please watch it to the very end of it. Watch this video and be the judge by yourself. What you're about to watch will shock you. Very sad one indeed. Nigeria security architect have collapsed completely. What happened yesterday is a very annoyed one. But that is not the main news of the day. The main news of the day is the message that came direct from the office of the USA Mayor, Michael Arnold, concerning the release of Nnamdi Kanu. So please, I know this message is going to annoy the enemies of Biafrans and the enemy of Nnamdi Kanu. But better still, and for your own good, please do well to watch this video to the very end of it, because what you're about to hear will shock you. Nigeria have fallen. There's no way they will escape the wrath of America. Let's watch the video.
Don't fire. You don't need to. Okay? You don't need to. We have sufficient platforms that should do that. And they will have better reach than your personal weapons. Keep your ammunition for self-defense for now. If there is any immediate threat to you, that is when you use it. But please allow us to use the bigger guns so that we'll clear the road. Is that clear? I don't want all this indisciplined firing that people will just be. You are not seeing anything. You waste your ammunition without killing even a pigeon. We don't want that. So just take it easy. We'll line up, we'll move, and we'll get there by the grace of God. Okay? So we're not going to waste time. That MRAP should start moving now. Okay.
We mentioned that Trump recently redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. How are U.S.-Nigeria relations right now?
So that happened back in October, and the initial reaction from the Nigerian government was pretty hostile. But over time, I think, as there was more attention paid to it, it just became so undeniable. And the point of these designations is not just to say you're a bad country, we don't want to work with you. The point is to help the people who are being killed, to help the people who are being kidnapped, and to make sure that religious freedom is protected for everybody. And that's a real value. It's an American value. It's an international value, and it's a value for a lot of Nigerians. And so this has moved into a more cooperative stage. I think that's a very positive thing. There have been some recent recommendations given to the president from Congress, Congressman Riley Moore, Congressman Chris Smith, the House Foreign Affairs Committee, different committees. They've really put a lot of effort into this with great recommendations. I rarely have seen such incredible effort from an administration as I've seen right now with Nigeria. And there has been good responses. I think from some portions of the Nigerian government. There have been some personnel changes and things. Interest in improving security, interest in helping the IDPs. You know, Father Remy and you both mentioned the issue of Sharia criminal law, blasphemy laws, mob violence that can lead to the death penalty. There, it's a really terrible thing. There's a number of different issues, but those recommendations, if they're followed through, could in the next few years really make a huge difference. But they have to be followed through. They have to be followed.
IPOB pay you? Are they paying you to do this? Because that's the answer maybe want to,
and I'm separating it from the issue of Biafran separation. That's not my interest in talking about this whatsoever, but it is an indictment of the tyrannical lawlessness of this administration. Here's the facts. First of all, even Nigerian courts have said the branding of IPOB as a terrorist group is bogus. There was never any due process. It was just a proclamation, and there's no evidence to support it. The United States doesn't accept that. I don't believe any country outside of the cadre in Abuja actually believe that it's a terrorist group. They did that.
No other country has prescribed IPOB apart from Nigeria. So far,
and so it's, first of all, it's clearly an effort to silence them. Second, Nnamdi Kanu carries a British passport as well. He's a British citizen as well as a Nigerian citizen. He was broadcasting from London. Never once, and it was challenged in court over and over again, there was never once any act of violence that was traced to any word that he spoke. Not once. There's not one act of violence that they can say came about as what he said. He spoke on foreign soil. And then he went to Kenya, does not have an extradition treaty with Nigeria. He was abducted, tortured, and illegally rendered to Nigeria. The Kenyan government said it was illegal, and they protested. The international community has protested. So, they come up with a bogus label of terrorist that nobody agrees with. They They grab him for saying words on foreign soil that were not traced to any violence, and then they illegally render him back. They put him on trial under a law that had been repealed. His attorney kept saying, Your Honor, what is the law? Show me the law. What are you being prosecuting for? It does not exist. There is no law under which he was prosecuted. The old law, there was no continuation clause. There was zero legal basis for his prosecution. And then he was found guilty of what? Violating what? Simply offending the government is what he.
No, they said most of the things he said ignited violence and led to the death of
never proved
security agencies and individuals and
accidents. That is called tyranny. When you can grab somebody out of another land and you can condemn them for words they said that you don't agree with, even though they're not against the law, and you can sentence that person to life in prison and transfer them to Sokoto, 700 miles from the people that were feeding him, taking care of him, 700 miles from the appeals court. Sokoto, it's throwing him in a dungeon. They grabbed a guy because they didn't like his words with no law, with no legal basis. They illegally grabbed him, a foreign citizen on foreign soil, and they throw him in a dungeon in Sokoto. That's tyranny. I don't care what tribe he's in. I don't care what he was advocating. That's tyranny. That's evil. And it's an indictment of this government. The fact that he's still in prison illegally is tyranny. That is tyranny. There is no legal justification for it. They never made the case. They never showed what law they were prosecuting. The government didn't like him, and they threw him in a dungeon, just like they did with the Israeli filmmakers.
Why do you think the government may not have liked him? Because many would say, some people who believe in him call him the prophet of their time, because most of the things he warned about the massacre of the people of Nigeria today, the reality of most of these indigenous Nigerians. But so many would say that, is there anything he actually did speak about that hasn't come true? So what exactly is his crime? But why do you think the Nigerian government did not like him enough to ensure that he was duly persecuted?
Well, I'll talk about it in terms of physics. There's no such thing as darkness. It doesn't exist. It's the absence of light. They operate in darkness. They're evil people operating in darkness, and he was shining the light. He was speaking the truth, but they say he was just teaching history. He was just pointing out the obvious about the Constitution, about the founding of Nigeria, about the whole British machinery that they put in motion. That's what he was doing. And that's a threat to the powers that be, because it's the truth. And they can't stand the truth. They can't live in the light because they are children of...
Nnamdi Kanu is in jail today because he's different from Sunday Igboho. Yes. If Nnamdi Kanu were to be Sunday Igboho, he would be campaigning for Tinubu in the southeast now. Yes. Because it's the same terms that they gave to Sunday Igboho that he accepted that Nnamdi Kanu has rejected over the last 10 years. So please don't insult it. I don't know what he will do tomorrow, but the Nnamdi Kanu that I went to campaign for in Aba last week is not somebody. It will be, I don't even know what to call it, if it's a heresy to compare the two of them. As per Sunday Igboho, who I don't know too well, but I've always stated that their own brand of politics is what they call Amala politics in Oyo State. It is politics of chop I chop. It is what they used to call during in the Southeast, or rub bombo. Rub my back, I rub your back. So, but what Sunday Igboho is going to quickly realize is that it is going to be in the hall of infamy. Yes. Like the Nzeribes of this world, who once said that if Babangida did not become president, he will kill himself. Yes. Right? Both him and Babangida have become invalid. It's like Daniel Kanu, who said if Abacha did not become president, he will kill himself. Abacha has died. His own political career died forever. It's like Baba Adedibu in Ibadan, who says that Obasanjo, if he doesn't do third time, he will kill himself. He has also died. So these are ideas that will not last. And I have no doubt that Sunday Igboho has just automatically, if he was ever relevant, just retired himself into the infamy of the people I mentioned. And his own might be worse, because the whole community might be cooking for him very soon. I will go to anywhere in Nigeria to campaign, and I want to see him come and stop me. And I'm sure he will never try. So some of it is also psychological. True. They are just using them to scare you so that you won't stand up. Because they know if Tinubu is truly supported by 33 governors, why is he afraid of? Why is he afraid of rallies? Yeah, that tells you that it is the governors that are decamping, the people are not decamping. Shot him. He provided remains, bones of people they claim were these engineers. And when they did the DNA test, they found out that they were not the people who died. So what I'm glad happened with this particular man called Umahi is that his admittance that he's the most powerful person or powerful minister under Tinubu allowed his other victims to come out. And that is why we always warn people. You can commit crimes and get away with it at some point, yes. But you will never get away at all times.
Yes.
Now his crimes are catching up with him. Apart from the 5 Netherlands engineers that are missing under his watch, there's also a family that has been in jail since 2025 that he ordered to be sent to prison in Boeing. Don't forget that this same Umahi constructed one of the most expensive airports where even a drone doesn't land today in a Boeing. So his crimes are catching up with him and he must answer for them. We are not asking that he should be fired alone. Umahi must be arrested and investigated, tried, and appropriately dealt with. So I'm sure more information will come out. You see, you can't just say that people disappeared because there's communal clash. Boeing is not the only place where there are communal clashes in Nigeria, where people disappear. We'll still find out what happened to them. So it has been established now that he has a hand in it, and there is prima facie case that he has information about their disappearance.
Will you be calling for a stepping aside from the office as a start?
For us to have independent, proper, and transparent investigation, he has to step aside so that he will not interfere with the investigation in a serious country. If he fails, he will step aside with the people who are protecting him when the time comes. All of them will be forced to step aside. Nigerians are not joking anymore. As you guys are aware, I spent last week in Aba, in Abia State, and I've never seen how determined people are, and you can say whatever you want to say. It wasn't an IPOB event, there was not even an IPOB flag.
Nothing.
It was just the Nigerian people asking for a revolution.
Yes.
In Aba, in Ariara Market.
Yes.
And in front of soldiers, soldiers in their like numbers came, but they resisted them, and we had a great outing there. That's telling you that they're sending a message to the, they always tell you that some parts of the country based on ethnicity don't want Nigeria to be better, or because of religion they don't want the Nigeria that we call for. We are getting to find out, not for the first time, that there's unity of the oppressed.
Yes.
And we'll take it through to flush these guys out of our system. The killers, the corrupt people, and the dangerous politicians who have held Nigeria's future, past, present, and future to ransom. Yes.
Sir, how will you describe the action of the FCT minister of building a luxurious mansion for Nigerian government?
I didn't know that there were mansions until I saw the videos yesterday. He called them duplexes so that he can fool people. But this is what I will say to you. Nigerians should get to a point, and listen to this, that if you are brought before a judge that collected house from Wike, just tell the judge to recuse himself.
Very well. Simple.
There's no judge who is going to take that mansion who can ever do justice in Nigeria.
Yes. True.
It's not possible. No judge. And this is not the first time judges are challenged when they are ethically compromised.
Exactly.
Ganifa Emi challenged Supreme Court justices who collected Mercedes-Benz from Babangida during Abiola's time. And they couldn't sit. And those Mercedes-Benz have now become extinct. The judges have died.
Yes.
But Gani's name and his position at that time remains forever. Any judge, even if this is a judge that's handling my case, if I hear that it's one of the judges that got the house, I'll tell him to recuse himself. There's no way I can get justice from a judge who is living in that mansion. In fact, the moment you get that house, you will not be living in Nigeria anymore.
Yes.
You will not think Nigeria, you won't behave Nigeria, you won't see Nigeria. Those are mansions that are meant for corruption. And those places should be reallocated immediately to doctors.
Yes.
Because doctors will save more lives. And I'm sure some of the doctors are willing to even share the apartment.
True.
So one of them can take like 10 doctors. Especially all these resident doctors, young, vibrant, and savvy. They are willing to just find a mattress to sleep. Why is Wike not building houses for teachers?
Yes.
Why are they not building houses for even all these policemen that are killing people on their behalf? You know. And I heard that after giving houses to judges, the registrars and the court workers are complaining. I came and gave them land too.
Land, yes.
So that he can corrupt them, because those ones are saying we are the ones who help the judges carry out corruption, so also settle us. This is what I heard happened to some of the staff here. So
there have been killings of civilians and soldiers in the last 2 weeks, and particularly in Katsina Plateau. So what's your reaction to this?
It's not only in Katsina and Plateau. The most amount of killings has been happening in Borno State, where battalions of soldiers are being wiped out. As we speak, Maiduguri is within the sight of Boko Haram. But I have said it here before, that it's just a matter of time. If we continue with these incompetent leaders and army generals and the defense minister, the guy who wanted to construct fence, yes, it's a matter of time before the whole country is overrun. Even the Abuja where you are surrounded. But I know all of us are in denial. Terrorists are also attacking a neighborhood in Abuja on a regular basis. They are attacking Kogi. The biggest terrorist camp in this area is based in Obajana. The second one is based in Suleja. There are terrorist camps very close to the law school.
Yes, well.
That is overlooking the law school. There's a mountain there. We do the research. So those of you who are still in denial that it's Kogi or Borno, it's a matter of time. Except we change the players. The game can never change. Nobody is safe in this country. Not only that, in Ondo State, bandits, which is another alias name for terrorists, were found very close to the airport, close to maybe taking down an aircraft. They were arrested yesterday by the combined team of security agents at Akure Airport. That place is also surrounded. So what do I tell you? Everywhere is already under siege. So you better do something about it before it gets too late.
Now that you have seen the full video, what do you just see? You see, this is a welcome development. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu is a freedom fighter. Yes, he have never compromised and he can never stand his name. He want to fight to finish. It's a promise that he made and he's going to fulfill the promise. Please, my people, share this video. Spread this good news. Spread the message across the globe, because this is exactly what we need at this time. Let the Nigerian government release Nnamdi Kanu and save themselves from shame, because he will destroy Nigerian government completely. So who am I? I'm only a messenger. If you love what I do here, this Global Love Channel TV, please don't hesitate to touch a half or subscribe button, like and turn on the notification bell. So whenever we upload a new video like this, you'll be the first person to be notified. And to do that, we encourage you not to do more, because togetherness, we shall save life together. Africa life matters. Till next time, see you in my next video. Bye for now. Thank you.